Hey, what's up everyone? Linux Baron here. In today's video, we're going to be covering how to set up a VPN on your Linux machine. There are going to be two parts to this process. First is getting the software working with just starting and stopping the VPN from the command line as a standalone program. The second part is going to be setting it up to run as a service so that every time you log in, the VPN is already going. So the first step is to actually go and pay for a VPN service. I realize there are at least a handful of quote unquote free VPN providers. Of course, nothing is really free. You end up sacrificing your personal data in order to go with one of those. The provider I prefer is called AirVPN. They're really good. They're UK based. They are very vigilant about your privacy. They don't give your information to anyone. And they're pretty reasonable in terms of price. So you go here, you sign up for an account. Once you have your account established, go to the client area and go to the config generator down below. You choose Linux as your OS, and you choose OpenVPN, the first item, as your VPN type. Stick with the default for the device. And I prefer to pick my own country that I want to make it look like my traffic is going through. In my case, I'm choosing Canada. You can pick what you want. At the very bottom, just hit the generate button. And this will download a file into your downloads directory, which is a config file for OpenVPN. Okay, so we've got the config to install OpenVPN. Okay, the software installed, now we can use it. So the command we want to use as the administrator user, sudo, is called OpenVPN. And we want to pass an argument called config, which tells it where to get the file that we just downloaded. It's in downloads and then the file name. You can see it's starting up. And now we have our VPN active. We can verify that it's working by browsing to a site like whatismyip.com. And this will tell me, oh, you're browsing from Toronto, Ontario in Canada. I'm not actually, I'm in the United States. But the VPN is doing its job. It's making it look like that's my new location. Great, okay, so it's working. Now we want to stop the VPN with Control-C. You can see it received the exit command, and we've exited the VPN program. So that was step one. We got the VPN up and running, and traffic was appropriately flowing through the VPN server and not through our main gateway. So the next step is to make this thing auto start on every login. To do this, we just need to copy the config file to a special place with a special name. I'm going to use sudo cp, which copies files. We're going to give it the file that we downloaded, this AirVPN Canada blah 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 .ovpn. And then where we're going to copy it to is etc folder, OpenVPN, clients, and then we're going to give it a name. I'm just going to call it Baron. You can call it whatever you want, but it needs to end in conf. Okay, Now that the config file is in the right place to act as the control for the service, we're going to sudo systemctl enable OpenVPN client at, and then the name that we gave it. In my case, it's Baron. Once it's enabled, let's start it. Now that it's started, we can check the status. And you can see it started. Okay, so that's it. From now on, when I log into my machine, this service will start and I'll have the VPN masking where I'm doing my internet browsing. All right. Have a great day, everyone.